Keir Starmer built his image on being a man of justice, but what if that image isn't the whole story? Whistleblowers are now asking tough questions about his time as the UK's top prosecutor, claiming he oversaw a justice system that repeatedly failed the victims of grooming gangs. This is the story, they say, proves he can't be trusted. For years, a dark shadow hung over towns like Rotherham, Rochdale and Telford. It's a national horror story of vulnerable children, abused on an industrial scale by gangs of men. The landmark 2014 J report found that in Rotherham alone, at least 1,400 children were sexually exploited between 1997 and 2013, with many abusers being of Pakistani heritage. While the report's most scathing criticism was for local police and council officials who feared being called racist, one man sat at the top of the entire prosecution service for a critical part of this period. The Director of Public Prosecutions from 2008 to 2013, Keir Starmer. The people who fought on the front lines to expose these crimes are now speaking out. Maggie Oliver, the heroic ex-detective who resigned from Greater Manchester Police in protest, didn't mince her words. She has said Starmer is perhaps as guilty as anyone for the systemic failures. While she says both Labour and the Conservatives are equally to blame, she points to Starmer's leadership at the Crown Prosecution Service, or CPS, as a critical time of failure. Jane Senior, the Rotherham youth worker who earned an MBE for exposing the town's scandal. In 2020, she says she wrote to Keir Starmer detailing an appalling bullying campaign she faced from the local Labour-run council after she brought the abuse to light. She was looking for support from the party's leader. She says she never received a response. Starmer's defenders point out that he took over a failing CPS and that rape-flagged convictions rose during his time as DPP. They also highlight his reversal of an initial 2009 decision not to prosecute the Rochdale gang, which ultimately led to convictions. But critics and whistleblowers say this doesn't tell the whole story. An explosive Daily Express investigation from early 2026 alleged that during Starmer's tenure, the CPS was involved in drafting and agreeing to the use of child abduction warning notices. Critics, including Maggie Oliver, have slammed these as paedophile ASBOs, arguing they were used to make investigations go away instead of pursuing tough prosecution. In another horrific case from his time as DPP, Starmer's CPS was accused of a betrayal of a victim called Amber. To get her testimony into court against her abusers, she was named on the indictment, effectively portraying her as a willing participant. An independent reviewer later called this tactic deplorable further abuse. Maggie Oliver says that because of decisions like these, Starmer is compromised and has a clear conflict of interest in overseeing any new inquiry. These are serious questions that go right to the heart of our justice system. If you believe these stories need a bigger audience, follow our page. We're committed to bringing you the facts that others would rather ignore. After dismissing calls for a new national inquiry as a far-right bandwagon, Starmer's government finally launched one in June 2025. But far from providing answers, the inquiry has been beset by problems. It struggled for months to even appoint a chairperson after candidates dropped out. The government has now, in late March 2026, published the final terms of reference, with the inquiry, chaired by Baroness Longfield, set to formally begin its work in April 2026. However, the delays and arguments over its scope have led opponents, like Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch, to attack the government's handling of the process. This comes on top of wider failures to act. The 2022 Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse, IICSA, made 20 recommendations. Yet progress on implementing them has been slow, with campaigners launching a judicial review against the government in March 2026 over the delays. The picture painted by whistleblowers and official records is deeply troubling. We see a former top prosecutor whose department was accused of using tactics that let suspects off and re-traumatized victims. We see a prime minister whose long-promised national inquiry has been plagued by delays before it has even properly begun. The question isn't just about the past. It's about right now. With this record and an inquiry already facing criticism, can Keir Starmer be trusted to finally deliver justice? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and please don't forget to hit that follow button